William Hung, Championed by Choice, Chapter 13. Treating People with Respect. I think it's worth acknowledging the bitter truth. The world can be a cruel place. You've probably experienced some degree of mean-spiritedness if you've ever been on the internet. Perhaps it's the anonymity that the medium provides in the same way that road rage offers the isolation of one's personal vehicle. But it's clear that we are living in an age in which people feel empowered to treat others with impunity. If the golden rule was ever in effect, it certainly isn't now. I feel I came of age when incivility and open hostility made their public debut. It seems reasonable to say that much of the blame belongs to my ticket to fame, American Idol. The judge and panel talent show served as a vehicle not only to admire performers with singing ability, but to publicly shame those without it. And no one more than yours truly. In fact, it's quite possible my performance, even in the third season of the program, marked something of a cultural zeitgeist, a turning point, as we're all giving license to play Simon Cowell in our own lives, with the power to sit back and scorn the people around us. While there were 3 judges on the show, Cowell was the unquestioned star because he was the harshest and most abusive in his criticism. Put it another way, he was a bully. And that's what people turned in for. The secret sauce was schadenfreude, described in the dictionary as a feeling of pleasure or satisfaction when something bad happens to someone else. It's the joy in someone else's misery. It's a completely different statement. Completely different. I'll explain. The producers understood, however, that nobody wants to admit to such shameful feelings. They couldn't have a show that was devoted solely to laughing at others. Instead, they had to conceal it in a something aspirational, which allowed viewers to appreciate the vocally gifted. It also made for a striking contrast. When a TV star is rewarded for basically being a meanie, it justifies that behavior in the audience. The network essentially sets a standard regarding bullying. That, in my opinion, seeded the landscape for millions of Simon Cowell wannabes. As I've said before, I don't fault Mr. Cowell for doing his job. I get it. In fact, I participated in it. But his criticism was just the beginning of what I experienced because of my audition. Some media critics accused me of perpetrating an Asian stereotype. They suggested my notoriety would set back legitimate Asian performers in the entertainment industry. That bothers me more than anything Mr. Cowell said to the people who auditioned. Think about what those critics are suggesting when they urge me to step aside for other Asians. Aren't they saying that because other people might stereotype me, that is my problem rather than their problem? And that because I look or talk a certain way, I should go away and hide somewhere so that other more TV-friendly Asian types should be showcased in the spotlight. I'm reticent to throw around labels, but that strikes me as a soft but insidious form of racism. I saw and understood how most Asians tended to get mostly negative acting roles like geeks or prostitutes. However, I haven't and won't apologize for my audition or my subsequent fame. If others want to claim I represent a negative stereotype, they can explain what they mean and try to justify it. Like each of my critics, and for that matter every individual in this world, I am a unique person. Don't I deserve to have dreams like everyone else? And shouldn't I be encouraged to pursue them? Or at the very least, not criticized for doing so because of what I represent racially to some people. I think we gradually came to accept mean-spiritedness as business as usual. Without delving into politics, we can at least agree that there are accepted norms that have been so shattered by the former Trump administration that we've come to accept them as normal. Twitter rants, political rallies, attacks on the press, and the proliferation of lies, things that would never have been tolerated before. The point is, social norms begin to change when they're repeatedly undermined. This climate we're in is virtually inhospitable when it comes to courtesy, compassion, and respectfulness. And if American Idol played a role in presaging this, and the internet has found its culmination, and where TV gave us bullies, this new medium has given us trolls. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a technophobe advocating an off-the-grid lifestyle. TV is here to stay, and so is the internet. With that in mind, it is incumbent on those of us who still care to make these communication channels the center for sharing authentic insights and news that actually matter. We must never get to a point in which we just accept that it must be this way.